Okay, cool. All right. In 3, 2, 1, konnichiwa, mi gente, and welcome. Welcome again to another episode of the Shinobi Unfolding Part 2 of Season 5. We're back. I'm with King Kai. I'm with JL. I'm also with my good man, OMK. How you guys are doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Good. It's good to be back and talking anime, my favorite thing.
Facts. I'm happy
Weebs
to be back as well.
Weebs
like the
unite.
Olympics. Like the Olympics, baby.
Actually, that was pretty dope. A lot of great reference to One Piece, Sailor Moon, Avatar, The Last Airbender. What else am I missing? And I got.
They had the JoJo stands.
The JoJo. Ooh, somebody did a JoJo.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, a couple of them. It was a group. DBZ. Who
The
was
guy
it?
did the Kamehameha stance.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the Kamehameha.
Okay.
No, the other one. The
Ginyu Force.
Yes, the Ginyu Force. There
Oh
you
yeah,
go,
I seen
yep.
that one. I know exactly what
the
you're
squad pose.
The
Yep.
squad pose. Hey, well, luckily for you guys, here are all the image as we mentioned it. But other than that, the Olympics was definitely epic. I think Japan did a great job having also like what you gonna call it, the main characters to be like hosts on certain night too. I thought that was pretty dope.
One of the referees cosplaying as Jiraiya. That was epic.
They had a Demon Slayer, the outro for when it ended, the Olympics ended. Like
that was
it's
dope.
funny. Well, it's funny because to us, it's not what we see over here, but over there, it's everywhere.
Facts.
But
the cool thing too, though, like there were people from other countries giving the salute to anime. Like it wasn't just Japanese Olympians doing that stuff.
Just,
like it was
Italy, France, a lot of Europe.
It shows you what anime, what it does, right? And you also, for me, it's also like, well, how young these guys are, but also, they're getting into all this anime that's been out for years, right?
Yeah.
You guys are like 19 years old, doing One Piece dances and stuff. Like, all right, you know what I mean?
I'm like, you actually binged those 900 plus episodes, my guy? you bought that life? All right.
Cool.
when you're having fun.
When the Olympics was opening, I remember I was laying around. I forgot what I was doing. I wasn't really being productive. My girlfriend was telling me, oh, the opening isn't that great. And then I looked into it. I was like, there's a ton of opening intros going on right now. I was like, what do you mean he's not great? You don't recognize any of these songs? And then she started to click with it, all the anime we've been watching. And she's like, oh, this is really good. Okay. Anime culture just seeing its way. Yeah.
For the weaves, we're like, yay. For the norm to like, what the hell? And it's just like, if you ain't part of it, you know what I'm saying? If you're not in, you're not in. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But the Olympics was great. Other talk too that was great is My Hero Academia World Heroes made over 7.63 American, not yens, American dollars within their 3 days opening. I'm kind of skeptical, guys. I'm kind of skeptical, but I'm really excited for this film.
Let's put that in perspective real quick. That amount of money in comparison to Suicide Squad's weekend opening at the box office was $29 million. So for an anime to get a fraction of an American movie releasing, and on the scale of Suicide Squad, it's bigger on the streaming side with HBO Max. But the box office numbers are around 29 to 30 million. So for an anime to be doing that over in Japan, I think it's going to do a hell of a lot more when it finally makes its way over here. If you haven't seen the teaser trailer, you have to check it out too.
Which is kind of right here, because I only could probably post about like 30 seconds of it, but here it is. And while you're watching that, it's really surprising that even though I think the pandemic is kind of like numbers are rising again, whatever, but I'm still surprised we're still not doing like the same time of movie release from Japan. You know what I'm saying?
It takes time for that to come over here. They want to get the translations done, and also takes time to ship that too.
Like they better open up their Sharinga or something and read those subtitles.
It's like, different when you have to do mass production to a widespread amount of movie theaters. If they were just going to do it on like a streaming service, the way like Funimation just bought Crunchyroll and all that
takes time with the dubs. I agree.
So I think Sony will probably end up having their own anime streaming service of some kind at some point. Maybe we won't see Crunchyroll and Funimation anymore, but similar to HBO and Disney Plus now, something like on that scale where we'll get anime movies on release when they come out in Japan.
Oh, yeah,
and then
quick
we'll have the
sidebar.
choice to do dub or sub.
Sony owns Funimation and Crunchyroll, which is like mind blowing. And then if we go even further than that, I'm not sure if Disney has Pocket on Sony. I'm not sure. Somebody correct me down in the comments. All right, because if they did, Disney runs the world. I'm telling you,
their legal relations, I think, go as far as shared Spider-Man license, but that's as far as they go, as far as like what they share and what they own together.
Facts, because of Fox. It was it Fox or Sony?
Yeah, Disney owns Fox and all those properties, Hulu, you name it, but Sony is still in its own lane. Luckily, surprisingly, but luckily.
But I won't be surprised if I hear like, oh, Disney bought Sony. I'm like, there it is, guys. All
now you got to have some. That's some money to buy at Sony.
That's what I was gonna say. Like the government steps in, like, hold up.
Yeah.
You want to spend how much money to get what? Hold up, we got to step in. Right. How much do you want to cut us?
If we do the math real quick, right? Like Crunchyroll was about what, $7.7 billions of dollars.
Isn't that crazy how much that anime service is worth in value?
And like, it's worth every single cent too monthly, so I'm not complaining. But
yeah, and I know it always has been, but the amount that it's accrued in value as far as something that we've considered not as popular probably 8 years ago or so, you know what I mean? And within a matter of, very fraction amount of time, like Roland was saying, the Olympics, the age demographic has changed. You have 19-year-olds from different countries watching this stuff from yet another different country. It's not just English and Japanese anymore. It's all these animes getting all these different dubbed versions. You get these updates for certain shows that get these German dubs, you get these Italian dubs, you get these French dubs. It's massive. Crunchyroll is huge. That's a big number. You said $7 billion? That's crazy for an anime service, bro.
I believe that's how much it's worth. They bought it for. I'm trying to.
No, I thought it was 1.34 mil, something like that.
Word? It's definitely in the
bill. 1.3 bill.
It was like billions though.
It's in the billion.
I think it was like one.
One sounds a little more realistic.
Bill. It was like 1.3. Yeah. Even still, $1 billion.
Yeah, that's a lot for an anime streaming service.
$1 billion.
Million.
But going back to the My Hero Academia real quick, can't find the numbers for it, but oh well, it is what it is. Going back to the My Hero Academia, alongside with it, we also see that it's seemed number-wise compared to the other movies. It's pretty like number one because the My Hero Academia 2 made
Heroes Rising.
Hero Rising made over
it was like 5 million or something.
Yeah, $49 million.
It's already killed it.
Yep, and then My Hero Two Heroes was 4.49 million, and then My Hero Academia Heroes Rising was about $3.86 million.
Look, that's a gauge of popularity alone when you see how much more money it's making every time. Because maybe the people that are just watching the show were very skeptical about the movies because they're not always canon, but they are in some ways, like the way they design these movies for My Hero. Yeah. They're like a hybrid of canon because whatever is currently going on in the anime, it's implemented in the show. And you can see the scene of Midoriya using his quirk that, spoiler, sorry, but there's another quirk. And you see him using it like fucking Spider-Man. I was like, oh, my girlfriend saw the teaser. We were like,
elements of the story incorporated into the non-canon movie, but
it makes it very sellable.
The storyline itself, like the actual plot of the movie, is not canon, but like they pull in stuff and happenings from the actual manga into it.
It's kind of it's very unlike watching the Pokemon movies as a kid, where you don't know where, when, and how it takes place, but Ash will have certain Pokemon, and it's like, all right, he has a Donphan. That's fucking random, But they're finding ways to really implement these movies very well, and I think those numbers speak for themselves.
Well, I'm really happy for My Hero Academia, and now my expectation. I'm a little bit skeptical because the second one was not that bad for me, but I'm hoping this one try to sell the shit for me because I think it focused on 3 of them. Bakugo, Deku, and Todoroki.
As the anime is doing right now too, as well.
So it's really interesting to see what type of story they're gonna tell, or who's the villain too, because that also
the villain, it's the voice actor for Zoro. I'm already in there.
Oh, nice.
Yo, as soon as I heard it, I was like, going to see it.
Oh, the American? Oh,
no, the Japanese one.
Actor
yes,
from Zoro, One Piece.
Okay, there's no way you cannot recognize his voice when it pops in.
Okay, first of all, when you said Zoro, my Spanish ass took me all the way back to like the Mexican Crusader. That's where it took me. But then I realized we're anime.
Oh God!
So we got to go back to like One Piece. So that's where my Spanish took me.
My man Jay was like, "How did he get that part? That's crazy."
Antonio Banderas, how did he pull this shit off?
Yo, I was so lost for a second. I was like, "Oh snap, that's crazy!"
That's awesome that movie is doing that well already. When it touches the States, who knows, man? My hero has been doing very, very big things to set precedents for years to come when it comes to anime.
Kids are loving it too.
Oh, they're gobbling it up.
Mm-hmm.
Nom 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 nom.
It's not too surprising, but I mean these mainstream shonens, like the big timers, are they're behemoths. So I mean it's just over time they're just going to get bigger and bigger.
It's a very well designed formula that is so likable. It's easy to understand at times, and you kind of know what to expect when you're already an anime fan as well. So you can know you're not going to be severely disappointed unless you disappoint yourself.
I agree, completely agree.
And also, anime is one of those things that you like, and no matter what the age is, you're going to continue to like.
Yeah.
So no matter what, it's like, oh, I'm still watching anime. I'm still watching anime. You know what I mean? And guess what?
32, we're still watching anime.
64, you're still watching anime.
Hey, you see what I'm saying?
If you're 128 watching anime, God bless you. Because damn. But yeah, and talking about ages and also new anime, one anime that is pretty popular among our inner circle and hopefully a lot of the people who support the Shinobi Unfolding is that there is a new JoJo Bizarre Adventure series coming out.
Netflix.
I had to mute my mic as I slammed my desk just now out of excitement.
Netflix. First of all, it's Netflix. Netflix.
The whole season.
It's Netflix. Like I'm stuck on Netflix for some reason.
The money, bro.
Yo, the money is right because I thought
they don't even have Diamonds Unbreakable up.
Or the
nah, they don't.
Not even the live action.
I think they only have like 3 seasons up. That's it.
Because me and my girlfriend are almost done. She's like 13 episodes from finishing Stardust Crusaders. There's nothing after that. So I'm pretty sure there isn't. So I have to go to Crunchyroll for the rest of it. So before Stone Ocean comes out, the rest of it has to touch Netflix.
I'm checking Hulu real quick, just to be on the safe side as well. But yes, it's pretty crazy that number-wise, Netflix got dib to the new storyline of Stone Ocean coming out December 2021.
Someone's working there and has just been like whispering in the exec's ears for years and is like, yo, you got to scoop this up because if you don't, you're going to miss out.
It's the fandom, bro.
Yeah, it is. And it's crazy how the fandom reaches that far into corporate companies like this now to where there's a fan sitting somewhere in an office like, I'm going to get in that office real quick and slip this under the door and be like, you need to get Stone Ocean on the list. You got to get
JoJo on Netflix.
Need JoJo's on Netflix.
Well, they're getting their foot in the door for Steel Ball Run, which is, in my opinion, the best iteration of JoJo, Part 7. So.
Hey, David, you're more knowledgeable on it. Give us a little bit of detail after this clip ended.
Giddy up.
Of the preview.
So I'm about Steel Ball Run, like what happens?
Stone Ocean?
Oh, Stone Ocean? I mean, pretty much JoJo's daughter Jolene gets thrown in the slammer and she tries to fight her way out. And of course, everybody has their stands activated and a bunch of shenanigans are going down. And, you know, it's the usual par for the course for JoJo. You got the crazy, exaggerated, out of this world happenings going on. And you're like, did this really just happen? But I mean, that's what makes JoJo, and that's why I like it. So
Exactly.
you can't take it super seriously. You just got to enjoy it for what it is.
I got a quick synopsis of it. And to put it in perspective, it is very similar to most JoJo arcs. There's always like there's a core character and some sort of trouble.
A hidden secret boss that's lurking in the shadows until the very end.
Dio.
Yeah. Well,
Dio is somewhat involved no matter what, bro.
He's mentioned everywhere.
He's mentioned. He did something to someone.
Bro, let's just say this.
Some random chick, and the spawn of that creature is the one that's causing this JoJo's life. Like
Jotaro is hunting a rogue stand user. He's divorced from Jolene's mother, comes to visit her, informs his daughter that a disciple of such and such background frame character framed her so that he could kill her in person. Tries to tell her to run away, doesn't happen. Something happens to Jotaro that forces her to get a stand, and she has to save daddy, and it goes from there. I don't want to get into any other details, but that's the basis of it in the beginning, which, as David was saying, is basic JoJo's format. It sounds like the beginning of Stardust Crusaders, but it's going to have its own crazy ins and outs with the new stands and the effects that
it's all about the in between. The meat of the anime is what
it's never even that core plot. It's the stuff that happens along the way. It's all the like, wow, I wouldn't have thought of that. Wow, how did they think of that? How did that guy actually attack him? How did you not dodge that? You didn't suspect him to be behind that door? Like, come on, shit like that.
I love the whole strategy of the stands and like the various weaknesses and strengths. Like that's my favorite part of JoJo, with the stands and their different attributes and like how you figure a way around them to beat the user.
Oh, definitely. And also,
just like my favorite real quick was in Stardust Crusaders with the video game guy and the guy who could read their minds. Like that was my favorite JoJo strategy.
Game over.
Oh, someone died in that game.
What game?
No, not the card game, but in the video game, like nobody got taken away, but like they would have lost their souls just like they did in the card game. But Joseph used Hermit's Purple to push the buttons while Jotaro was playing, and that's why like Jotaro wasn't playing and he was thinking what his mind, but his grandfather was doing something else with his stand on the gamepad, and it completely messed with the guy's mind reading ability.
I gotta rewatch that episode again.
Wasn't that is that Derby?
Yeah, Darby. Yep.
Darby
brothers.
Dude, we're about to literally watch that episode probably Sunday together. Literally, that's where we stopped. That's one of my favorite fights.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch it again.
Yeah, you do.
Fun fact: Hulu does have the 3 season of JoJo. Part 1 and 2 for the nerds are in season 1. 3 and 4, or just 3, is season 2 on Hulu, and then the Jotaro.
Stardust Crusaders is part 2.
Yusuke, no, Diamond Unbreakable or Unbreakable Diamond is on. It's season 3 in Hulu, and you can watch what I'm seeing here. You can watch Golden Wind on Hulu, but you would have to pay for the Hulu live TV services.
Got that Disney Plus package, son. Wait, the live stuff?
Is part of the live TV package.
Hate
Disney is not part of that, brother.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Yep, it sucks. It's hurting someone's pocket, but not mine, because I got Crunchy. I got VRV, so I'm good.
Yeah, man.
Well, with that being said, our main topic of the night kind of relates to JoJo's and a lot of MCs and the antagonist type of relationship. Where we're going to talk about some of our personal top best duos and heroes versus villains. It's been a while since we had these type of conversation, but fellas, it's time. It's time to open up, dust up our book, unscramble the roll, and see what we could talk about on this particular conversation. So
I gotta say, I didn't come up with many heroes and villains. I was looking more of the tag team dynamics. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I got some names we could mention for villains that you probably could agree or disagree towards the end.
Of course.
So no what? But let's talk about what we do know. A duo, a partnership, a family. Yeah, for those who are in the Fast and Furious saga type of vibe. Partner in crime, someone that pushes you through anything. So
y'all see that meme? This food is for my family.
It's for my
Fat Toretto.
family. The bond of family is stronger than anything, which is crazy.
The bond of two main characters is great just as well.
But
come on, Dom Toretto and Brian Spillner, Paul Walker together.
That's a classic.
Skyline and Charger. That's unbeatable, right? They can beat anything.
I can see that. But I was thinking more of a little bit of a classic one. We all could agree on this duo right here, Goku and Vegeta.
Thank you for getting that out of the way first.
Which is one of the main ones you think about, right? One of the main, when you think about rivalry, it's what you think about.
Well, because that's how it started. It started as hero and villain, and then
that's
over decades,
yes,
they're now collaborators and can beat anybody. It's been proven if they can ever work together, but never happens. But
Gogeta.
Never happens. Yeah, exactly. He's got to go the extra mile to be by himself.
Forget about that. Like, it's just for me, when I thought about this topic, I thought of the energy and the chemistry between the characters that makes a duo. And whenever they're interacting with each other, it's always, dog and cat just butting heads. Goku's this low level. Vegeta initially looks at him as a peon, and he's the prince, and it just drives him insane that this guy could even possibly, stand up to him, and that he's just always doing whatever he can. When he gets that capsule at Capsule Corp, and he's training 100 times gravity, like he's just doing whatever it takes.
Crazy mofo.
I mean, Goku is like has a spot just rented out inside of his head, and it's just driving him crazy and pushing him towards new heights. I mean, throughout the entire series. And there's that whole the Majin Vegeta saga where he's trying to come to grips with his personal beliefs, like what it was that got him to the point in power that he was at, and what he's become due to his interactions with Goku. On the surface he was saying it's made him soft or whatever, but and then he comes to realize having family and protecting others gives you the ultimate strength or whatever. But I mean, the whole interaction and back and forth between them is awesome. Like every time they're in the same room or in the scene together, there's always comedy or crazy energetic super fight going on. Like the Brawley movie blew my mind with that fight scene.
Oh yeah, I think what you bringing up the Majin saga real quick.
Yeah.
I think Vegeta's growth himself has always been better than Goku's, because
100%.
with Vegeta's death in that instance, everything he discovered within himself, Goku's died multiple times and just comes back as the same dumbass every time. But Vegeta, on the other hand, and especially where he is at, I'm not manga caught up, but I see enough clips that you guys post and tag each other in to know where he's at right now. And I think his character progression has just been so much better as Goku's. Goku's is expected for him to, always become the strongest, but Vegeta has worked and always been left in the dust. And for these two to be very cohesive is a very, hard thing to come by, because you have characters like Naruto and Sasuke that are just two completely different plot devices in themselves, constantly colliding as well.
Yeah, I mean, the way how they started was like they were partners because of they were part of a team, and then there was a separation that they became rivals. So then later at the end of Shippuden, they become like best friends, never separated until Boruto, where we see the death of Naruto. Oops, sorry, but yeah, it's been said. But anyway, yeah, Naruto
should have happened a while ago.
Here or there, but yeah, Naruto and Sasuke is also a great like relationship or bond that's really really unique because again, what was the motive? It was a promise. Naruto promised to Sakura that he'll get Sasuke back to the village safe and sound for her, and because of that promise, it's the only reason why we got Shippuden. And I think there were so many times that Naruto probably could have killed Sasuke. He probably had motive when he was like in the Demon Fox mode. There were times that Sasuke could have got murked, but for some reason, the good heart in the promise is the only reason why Sasuke is never dead. Or in reverse, Sasuke never killed Naruto because maybe he was just like bored and just needed a rival to like level up. I don't know.
Yeah, well, that and I mean, at least Sasuke never wanted to admit it, but they both had that secret admiration for each other because they showed like the childhood scene where like Sasuke's down alone by the lake by himself after his whole village just got killed off by his brother, and he's alone by himself. And then obviously Naruto was shunned by the whole village because his parents obviously died protecting him from Madara. So like they both respect each other. He knows what I'm going through. Like we're both facing solitude together. So ever since they were kids, they respected each other for that much. So even if he hadn't made that promise with Sakura, like I'm sure they had that bond between each other.
But what kind of interrupted the bond too is that when they were kids, for those who never watched Naruto, please educate yourself before like discussing with me. Is that remember there was a point where Sasuke did get jealous of Naruto because I think it was after the Great Mission or the Great Invasion, and Sasuke wanted to push Naruto to see what was stronger, the Sharingan or his Chidori.
Yeah, the Rasengan versus the Chidori.
And Kakashi is the one that like got into the middle, which is one of the coolest scene I ever seen.
Oh yeah, with the water thing. And then behind the barrel,
it was like kaboom.
Yeah,
like Sasuke showed
crazy moment.
Yeah, like Sasuke showed the result of like this is what my attack do up front.
My hand can go through metal,
but Sasuke, I can
Naruto blow you up from the inside out, bro.
That was crazy, and that from there on, that's where Sasuke got greedy. He
that is a
Orochimaru.
Very well written rivalry scene right there, because
you
don't expect that. You don't expect that. You just think, oh, these two finally clash. It's cool. But when you see the backside of that thing with the Rasengan did, Sasuke's face was like,
I got to get stronger.
I am so far behind.
And Orochimaru was like, I'm waiting for you. And I'm like, oh, snap. This is about to really happen.
Sicko.
And the thing that was cool about the dynamic between those two was Sasuke was, driven by revenge and, and jealousy. His brother was the big theme until, he learned the truth of the whole incident. And, like we were just talking about the jealousy with Naruto's, steady progression. I mean, it was due to the Demon Fox in him. So, I mean, he kind of had a leg up on him, but whatever, that is what it is. So he's driven by revenge. Sharingan. And then, yeah, that's true. And,
that's bloodline.
And then
that's
Naruto's all about the bonds, getting stronger for his friends, and like you mentioned, for the promise, like two completely different motivations driving these two that were so closely connected together.
All doing it with only one ninjutsu as well.
No.
The sexy jutsu.
Well, the shadow clone. I guess two.
I know it's the shadow.
I guess
clone.
two.
But
I still can't believe that saved the day. That's just
that's
anime. That's anime. That's anime. That's what that is. That's what that is.
Here, there, another one that compares to Naruto and Sasuke is Bakugo and Deku on My Hero Academia.
Because as for new animes, absolutely. As for new animes, absolutely.
Because, like, what's your thoughts on that rivalry yourself, OMK?
It's one of the best ones. I mean, from the start, you already know why Bakugo's mad, right? You already know why he's mad, right? So you're like, man, this dude's a hater. But then you start seeing the growth, and you're like, yo, this dude still hates him, though. And like David said, it's always the beef, the clashing of the, every time, he wants him. He wants to whoop Deku's ass every time. Because he knows how good Deku is, though, right?
And Deku was what? Nobody. No power.
Nothing.
No
That's
quirk,
why he's like,
nothing.
yo, out of nowhere, you're the man now. And he's like, nah. I've always been the man. Nah, never that.
And that's kind of the fuel to the fire too, because I don't know why Deku decided to do this. He has nobody to blame but for himself. But once he told them that, he inherited his powers from All Might, he's like, why did All Might choose you and not someone like me? So he's like, it was an extra, a little nudge that made him hate him even more, aside from his whole, I don't know, I'd say hate him because he's good at Choo-Shoos, but like he was weak, and he let people walk all over him, and now this guy who has such a weak personality has one of the strongest quirks, and is highly regarded by all the teachers at the university. He's like, what the hell? And he's just whacking his head against the wall, trying to one up him.
And that fighting scene between Bakugo and Deku on the second season, I believe it was. The second or third.
Second or third. That fight at night. It's just those two.
Where
that dance. Deku's moves, bro. My God, that animation. That fight.
Animation was crazy.
I wanted it to happen so much sooner. But the fact that it happened in time like that, and in such a very emotional moment for Bakugo to then realize and learn the truth after that fight, it sets everything in perspective for him. Like David was saying, he understands what kind of character Deku is. Bakugo fears intelligence. That's the kind of character he is. He's a hothead. He is very powerful, but he can never focus his attacks. Now they're training under Endeavor, and he's learning more and more how to do that, of course. But as far as a duo, the fact that Bakugo fears him at first and can later understand, why everybody reveres him so highly, that makes them a much more powerful combo now going further, because
isn't Blue Jean is training Bakugo?
Blue Jean is
Best Jeanist.
Best Jeanist did train him. Pretty sure Best Jeanist just got cut, but Bakugo showed his newfound leadership and strength during the training protocols they did in the beginning of the current season, and it was very, very well done to see his progression jump so much farther. And then you see it in the second movie as well. Those two working together, crazy ass combo. The moves and combinations they were doing together to take down an enemy without having fought together as one versus each other before. Incredible dynamic how the powers mix together and their personalities. But seeing those two clash all the time, you've got the strongest dude in the room, even though he acts like he doesn't have the potential to do so all the time. He acts so underpowered. And then you got Bakugo, the hothead, and you got this strong ass kid. He's just like constantly in fear of what he's going to do. And he's like screaming about tofu the whole time in the room. And Deku's just like, calm down, Kachan, calm down. And you got Bakugo just going the fuck off. Like, it's a great dynamic. They make such a good character. And every time Bakugo goes on screen, I cannot help but laugh. Like, you think he's going to be like,
oh, dude, I love his hero name. Like, crazy murder, death, explosion king.
Oh, I didn't even know he actually. I know he's been like hinting at saying it, but he hasn't actually said his.
He's trying to come up with these things, but it's always like involving explosions, murder. Just
kill them all. Whatever.
That's it.
Nuclear destruction king.
But they both make a great character dynamic between each other, and it's an incredible balance for those two. So as far as duos, not just fighting skill alone, but just personalities. It's a perfect yin and yang, both of them.
Perfect synergy.
It just shows you they need each other as well, though, to grow. They need each other to grow. They're complete opposites. They need each other to grow because, obviously, I hate confrontation, but this man, he wants to fight every day.
The show is constantly narrated by Deku himself. He always says, "This is how I became the #1 hero." We still don't know how that happens, but clearly Bakugo was a part of that progression.
Obviously, the biggest, right? One of the biggest. You know what other new anime? That's another good rivalry, but they don't really see each other often. I want to say Black Clover, Asta, and Uno, right? Because they're always yapping at each other. I'm gonna be the best. I'm gonna be the best. But they're always fighting together, though. Always fighting together.
But you know what?
Someone mentioned Asta
on the same show. I actually like Yami and Jack the Ripper. That's a good one too. They are hilarious. Or Yami and Charlotte
that's a romance, dude. But
but the interactions between them is hilarious. Like, he is completely like clueless, and she's just like drooling over herself and like doing complete nonsense stuff.
But
Like-
Asta and Yuno, if you guys have not been watching Black Clover, reading it, I feel sorry for you because even though it's kind of the same formula as many of the anime that we just mentioned, this one pretty sell on the spot after a few episodes. Like I could see the competition, the goal, the method, the again one having an ability, the other one does not. One and he earns it, works himself up. A demon is always part in some of these stories. I don't get it, but it is what it is. And you know, they just achieve their goals and overcome all challenges. And I don't know, like people like when I was doing the Shinobi Unfolding with Dara, he always give me a hard time because I always rooted for the side character because they're always like smart ass and genius. And I'm like, is it my fault that the director or the author wrote him like that, or I'm just fascinated by the side character than the main character who has to go through so much growth and progression in order to be in the same level as this one dude? You know what I'm saying? It's just like
fair point.
Is it my fault? No, it's not. It's just what I like.
On the Black Clover tip, someone mentioned in my Instagram when I posted the question about anime duos, and it's a funny one, is Asta and the Birds. I fucking died.
Yeah.
Asta and who?
Asta and the Birds, the fucking rivalry they have.
Because he has no energy or no power, no magic, so they attack him every time they get around him.
I think that's Neo or something like that, or Neon. But yeah,
Narrow, yeah,
Narrow.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, that's funny. I love
it.
It
Is funny.
You know another, since we're on Black Clover, but Magna and Luck, those two are hilarious.
Oh,
with each
the
other
terrible twins! Oh my gosh! Oh,
They've grown to love each other, but like a good rivalry. Like
Yeah, like
it's fun to see
Luck
them
is always
now.
crapping
But the
all
Black Bull
over
is like-
Magna. He's like, you're so weak, and he's like zooming around and darting around with his leg. He's like, wait, look at me, I'm doing all this cool stuff, and you're just some scrub. Like, it's hilarious.
and that's the crazy part too, because like you could definitely match anyone within the Black Bulls. You know what I'm saying? Group or unit, because they do crazy stuff together.
They all do.
Yeah,
They all do. Like the witch with Yami or Asta, they kill it. What's the leading female character on Black Clover? Why is her name
Noelle?
Noelle.
That's
Noelle and Asta. That was a crazy duo, and especially in the first few arcs, they really did some damage. And then once
they had to grow together too. They were absurdly weak in the beginning. Absurdly weak.
Definitely.
They took mad hits. They needed everybody to save them every time.
But I mean, like those like Black Clover, you could definitely mix and match with different type of people. But let's go to one of a little bit of the old school, because we mentioned some of the new ones. But for me, a guy who has not been too in depth with this one anime so far, only made it to 200 episode, One Piece. Like who is like in One Piece? All I know is Zoro and Luffy. That's all.
There's a few. You could probably mention any pirate cruise captain and their second in command as a duo, because they've always come up. You can mention Gold Roger and Rayleigh. You could mention Buggy and his guys. You could mention the Panda and Trafalgar Law. Eustace and Killer. You could mention any of the story arc villains and whoever their second in command. I think this isn't a duo. This is a straight up rivalry. Zoro and Sanji separate, and also Luffy and Zoro separate, because Luffy's the one. No, that's a duo, as well as Zoro and Sanji.
That's just like a powerhouse combo, Luffy and
It
Zoro.
is. It's absurdly unfair, actually. It's completely OP. But they've had one fight at one point, and then they instantly turned around and just scared the shit out of the enemies right after that. But separate from all those guys, fuck. Well, I had so much One Piece shit running through my head just now. Where was I going with it?
Take your time, take a breather.
All those episodes running through.
But I mean, like for me, I was saying, like, you're talking about chemistry, like.
Oh, I remember. I'm sorry, David.
No, go for it.
You can go right after this. We can do the Zoro Sanji thing. Rob Lucci and Luffy. It is a very long
Good one.
running undertone of One Piece, and even currently in the current arc in Wano, it is still it's not mentioned he's there. Luffy doesn't know he's there, but you know it happens in the Water 7 arc, and the fact that Rob Lucci is the one that really forced Luffy to go into the second gear form when he showed him what true skill was and how to use haki before we even knew what haki was. Rob Lucci was the character to really raise the pinnacle, and that fight was insane. I mean, Luffy pushed it to all limits. He went through second gear and right into third to beat this guy. And Rob Lucci was a very, very villainous character. He was ready to kill everybody in his way, to go outside of the government ranks and in their guidelines to do everything he could. Luffy did everything to stop him, and it's an incredible montage if you have never seen that fight before. They are the most insane rivalry.
Yeah, just to piggy off of that right there, where you talked about like kind of similar with Goku and Vegeta when they first initially met, like it pissed Lucci off so much that Luffy was even standing up to him. He's like, he was just like, I'm like this elite of the elite, like everybody kisses my keister, like telling me how great I am, and then here you are, this leader of this upstart no-name pirate crew, thinking that you can just, knock down, the world government's doors and, steal this person back right from under our nose. And he's like, you shouldn't be able to do this. And, he knocks him out. So like, that was kind of like similar with Goku and Vegeta, like how it just blew his mind and it drove him crazy. And that kind of fueled the fire between those two characters. But like, what I was going to say prior was, for me, like the duels, it's about the chemistry between the characters, and like it doesn't always have to be the main characters. So that's why for me, instead of Luffy and Zoro, is more Sanji and Zoro, because every time they're with each other, like they're just driving each other bananas. Marimo and
Marimo,
Curly Brow and Love Cook, and they're just always fighting each other. The whole thing with fighting over who's got the higher bounty. And then when Sanji got that hand-drawn bounty picture, like Zoro hanging that over his head, and he's just muttering like this, you can't comprehend what he's saying. His face just goes like this weird, like it's hilarious every time I see it. But like
the thing is with those two, Sanji's kind of been left in the dust for a while, unfortunately. And it's not just because Zoro is so OP. I think it was that moment where Zoro defended Luffy and everybody else was knocked out because they couldn't stand up to Kuma. And Sanji, to this day, no one knows about what Zoro did that day.
Oh, Sanji was all the pain inside.
Yeah, when he absorbed all of Luffy's pain. Yeah, that's something Sanji deep down probably wishes that he could have done. And that's why he'll always be third or fourth with Zoro's non-compass having ass. Just being able to smell liquor from miles away. He can't even find his own way through a damn castle to find the main guy.
Fun fact about that, they said some weaves or Reddit, they mentioned that Zoro did die after absorbing all of that, pain from Luffy. And because his spirit was so like undirectional,
the devil kicked him back.
He doesn't know where was heaven or hell. So he went back to
So he just stayed. His soul had no idea where to go. I think Oda
like
actually said that himself to make that an actual fact.
Who?
Oda. I think Oda actually came out and said something similar to that to actually make that a fact. That's funny as hell, though.
That is.
I just read it somewhere. I was like, yo, that's like the most, it's gangster what Zoro did, because that's true. That's what a bond is. You know what I'm saying? That's what a duo is. It's like you got one each other back. Because remember, if you watch One Piece, which I have up to 200 episodes, Luffy was the guy who gave Zoro a chance when nobody did. You know what I'm saying? And from there, that's what Zoro respected until episode 900 something. They still like this. They
are actually the last episodes that were animated. It's them two in an encampment full of enemies, and Zoro is walking around looking for the main guy, and they're in like disguises, so no one knows who they are for the time being. He literally he drinks with some dudes, walks away, and then somehow circles back to the guys, and they're like way drunker than they were before. He's like, "What are you guys doing here? You talking about? You just found your way back to us." Even this far in the series, he still can't get his way around. So
That's nuts.
it is.
Bless Zoro. Bless him.
Bless Zoro.
All right,
So-
Jay, you say old school. I go Yusuke Urameshi and Kuwabara.
Ooh.
For Jill, yeah, those two have been together through thick and thin. In my,
I mean, they're at each other's throat,
rivals
but when
to become
Yusuke
best friends.
dies initially, you know who's the one at the funeral crying in tears and
or
Yep.
punching him in the
can't
face.
come to grips with the death. Even though Urameshi day in day out was just kicking his ass every time he went to challenge him. I mean, they were still bros and they had each other's backs, and then just throughout the series, the same way like the dark turn with Taguro there and Kuwabara, you know, feigns death, and that just pushes Yusuke over the edge that he needed to defeat Taguro there. So, I mean, I think that's. I mean, Yu Yu Hakusho has a bunch. Genkai and Urameshi is a good dynamic too.
That's
Always
a beautiful
whooping his ass.
relationship.
Yeah.
Teacher,
Always.
students surpass the teacher. Love it. If we want to go even further old school, an anime that I'm currently watching is Slam Dunk.
Oh.
And I think the most funniest one is I know I'm gonna butcher the name, but whatever, but it's Hanamichi and Rukawa. Yeah, Hanamichi and Rukawa, which they're both on the same basketball team, but inside of Hanamichi's mind, they're like the biggest rival ever. And it's like, dude, this guy is like Juno. You know what I'm saying? He's perfect in basketball. He could score, he could rebound, he could assist, and you're just a basic rebounder. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just a gangster, just like you're a Meshi. Like you, like you're. That's all you are. But for some reason, it's like in that old school like anime, they're like rivals within a rivalry. You know what I'm saying? Same team facing the team, facing each other. Weird, but I kind of like it. ONK, any duo that comes to your mind?
Well, like we're still talking duos. I mean, I was telling David earlier what was it? Shampoo, Samurai Shampoo.
Jin and Mugen.
Yeah, just because once again, always talking shit to each other, always talking shit, you know, and it's good because you're talking about two swordsmen, so that's what makes it even more fun, right? But they're two completely different styles.
Yeah.
So, and that's why they talk so much shit. It's like, yo, I'm better than you. Trust me. Like, no, there's no way. But and constantly, you know, showing each other how good they are every time a
The
fight comes
whole series is just
literally
about them competing with each other and destroying anyone in their way
everyone.
with this calming goal all the time. One, a beautifully drawn anime, beautifully animated anime. Great character dynamics between the two because one is a solace, very quiet, self-focused character. The other one is just a wild boy, total wild boy, doing capoeira and dual swordsmanship at the same time. This is such a wild show. I didn't even like when that came out. We were so young, could not even understand the depth and level of dynamics in that show.
Until you watch it
Well,
again.
I mean, it's from the
And the
creator
soundtrack.
it's from the creator of Cowboy Bebop, so no surprise.
Didn't know that then, but after I'm watching both of them, I'm like, hey, isn't kind of alike, huh?
Cowboy Bebop, Spike, Valentine.
I got another one.
What you got, JF?
The whole series is based on duos and teamwork. Soul Eater.
I have not watched that personally.
Okay.
You kind of see what I'm saying, David?
Yep. Yeah, because the series is based on pretty much you have these Shinigamis and their weapons are like another person, so they're teammates essentially.
Yeah, and without you being completely in sync with your teammate, one of the characters has two souls and they're like two guns. He holds them upside down. He's got the worst OCD you'll ever see in your life. It's actually one of the most hilarious points in the whole show. But then the main character has a male character as her death scythe, and he's constantly calling her flat-chested and all this other stuff. But unless these characters are in sync together, they don't fight properly. Yeah, he insults the shit out of her. And her dad is actually the Grim Reaper's soul weapon as well. So he's constantly telling him, like, take care of my daughter. He's just like disrespecting her right in front of him.
And the OCD kid is the son of
the Grim Reaper.
Yeah.
He's a badass. I love that character. But all of them, all four.
That's got to be cool.
right?
damn.
Being able to do that. I think it's 3 characters, right? You got the ninja kid, you got the scythe girl, and you got the
guy. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean,
And
all those characters.
It's from the guy who does Fire Force. Like he did Soul Eater, and then he moved on to Fire Force afterwards.
That show is literally all based on being a good duo and teamwork. I mean, there's other great examples as well, but that's a good honorable mention.
Well,
I want to throw in the Elrics real quick.
Okay, yeah.
They're pretty good.
Fullmetal Alchemist.
Elric Brothers, Fullmetal Alchemist.
They're pretty good rivals.
I wouldn't say
Making each other
rivals.
stronger. Well, yeah, well, in a friendly way because you're trying to make each other stronger, you know.
Yeah.
And also, at one point, you know, they had that little beef, but
they
they always knew they had to get stronger together too, and they always took care of each other. So yeah, definitely one of the best duos ever.
I'm gonna fight my brother, who's a giant suit of armor, hand to hand. Yeah, It's a ballsy kid.
So we have mentioned DBZ, Naruto, Black Clover, My Hero Academia, Slam Dunk, One Piece, Soul Eater. Are we missing any others before we jump into the rivalry?
I'm sure a million of them.
Because there's a lot of good ones.
We don't have to go into detail, but can I mention them? I did make a good list.
Devil is a part-timer. The Devil in the Hero. That was a really good one. A funny one too. Highly recommend it. What you got, Jo?
I'm gonna go through a couple, but 2 I would like to see what David and OMK say about them.
Not me.
I don't want to mention. I don't want to go too far into this. Go 10 and Trunks.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, they always practicing.
Hilarious, hilarious. Those 2
brothers, basically.
Exactly. Exactly. Senku and Crom or Taiju from Dr. Stone.
Okay.
They work well together.
I mean, you got Senku
really
the brains, Taiju the brawn. Yeah, man, they wouldn't have survived and gotten where they've gotten together without each other. There's no way.
That is true.
Are you talking about the girl?
No.
Are you talking about the crook?
I'm talking about Senku, the scientist, intelligence, and then Taiju, his best friend, who doesn't attack anybody but just defends the whole time.
Yeah,
he wouldn't have gotten anywhere without him. He was the brawn.
He was the brawn, but he was barely in season 1, unless if he was reading the manga where it goes more in detail about the relationship.
True. Okay, so that's why I don't want to go into detail about it. Just wanted to mention it.
But if you would have mentioned Homegirl in Senku, I agree.
Okay, fair.
I would think Senku and Crom is his underling, right? His fellow scientist.
Yeah.
Like I would say that would be the best one. He
taught them. They grew together. They did magic.
Crom saved everybody a couple occasions as well. All right.
Yep. In the new season, he shines.
I hope so. Good to know.
Oh, you didn't watch part 2 that came out in like January?
No, I watched the recent one. I have. Yeah, I've seen the end of what they've got so far.
I didn't like spoil something.
No, I saw him shine at that.
I
whole
promise you, one way or another, we're delayed in some anime, so don't be don't be too shy to mention something.
Gon and Kahlua, Hunter x Hunter, dynamic duo. One's a lightning rod, the other's a powerhouse.
BFF for life.
One's super innocent and one's from a family of assassins.
Yep.
The greatest assassins.
The greatest assassins. One more. This was a theoretical one. And I wanted to mention this because it's not something that we get to see, but I wanted to see what everybody thought about it. I
think this is going to be the best duo episode. Okay, what you got?
The dynamic that could have been that we didn't get to see between All Might and Night Eye.
Okay.
I mean,
yes, I got the reaction I wanted. Yes.
I mean, technically, they were partners for quite some time.
They were.
Until All Might decided not to work or disagree with one of the vision of his sidekick. Really good.
I feel like he
was trying to protect him because he had a vision that he was going to get killed, so he was trying to keep him away from fighting.
But just their quirks alone, emotional stuff aside, their quirks and their powers alone as heroes working together. Exactly. The future sight and all his power combined. Do you beat that?
He's like, yo, I need you to punch this guy.
Yeah, for real. He's gonna show up in this corner in 3 seconds.
Not this guy. Not that guy. Is that guy wearing a blue hat, green
I would
shade?
love to see like a prelude movie of All Might Adventures, and like the ending is like him and Night Eye just like saving the world.
Bro, I agree with you because there's so much backstory. Listen, let me explain something to you.
Let's
Right? I've been watching Slam Dunks. All right. And for some reason, they focus so much on the inner dialogue or like backstory. I'm like, yo, how come I ain't getting this with the new ones? You know what I'm saying? With the new ones, they give us exactly what we want: straight up action, some dialogue, some inner motivation, a little bit of training, but mostly the action, right? But back in the 90s, the whole formula was way different. So I would love an OVA, something similar to what Haikyuu does with the other team. They did a whole OVA focusing on them and how they push to be able to make it to the premium competition. You know what I'm saying? So I would love for My Hero to do the same thing. Attack on Titan did the same thing with the mangas. There's a whole manga series that focused on the life of Levy before he became Captain Levy. And
it was a kid.
It was a brief like
which is still good.
Three, 4 chapter kind of like prologue kind of.
If you guys don't know about this, it's amazing. It was him and a group of kids. They were able to get the mecha for them to be able to zoom around here and that, and he was already a badass before badass. You know what I'm saying? It's just like those type of thing. I wish My Hero will bring to the table, animation wise, not manga. I don't like
they do it with some sub heroes. I forgot what the series is called, but my girl's friend gave her like 5 issues of this manga series, and it's like heroes that you don't ever see, and I guess they get to do their thing. But something like Night Eye and All Might. I was just thinking about it. I was like, who have I seen that's together that we haven't seen before? I was like, man, that is a crazy combo of characters to even be a team. Like it'd be unfair. Like, oh, you have Future Sight, want to team up? No, this is unfair.
But I agree with you in the sense that we need more backstory or a series that doesn't reflect one thing that what people hate about Boruto. I'm sorry I mentioned his name again, but it's like a lot of the first 100 episodes focus on the backstory before the actual canon story. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the mangas about like Sasuke and Team 7 teaming up again versus Lost Uchiha. All this stuff that happened in the land of the winds.
The dude that they fight on the moon, right? Like that's where all that leads up to.
No, this is the dude that was he has the eyeballs, same as Sasuke.
Oh, okay.
And he was able to clone himself multiple times. It was one of Orochimaru field experiment, and then at the end, it was Team 7 reunited again, and they went off. Like the animation that was shown like 2 years ago, still solid till this day. Like,
really Naruto's fight scenes are crazy every time.
But that's why I would like to see more of anime. But let's go back to the topic because I got really excited when we were talking about like backstories like that.
Crazy duo.
This is a duo episode. You guys are rescheduled for next week because we got to talk about the best villain for next week. Okay. Yes. Different outfits. Cool. Now,
different outfits.
Another
Black
great
Mana Warrior.
Exactly. Another great duo because all I've been watching has been sports anime, and I cannot talk an episode without mentioning Haikyuu. You know what I'm saying? Like the Black Crows itself, the whole gang. That's a great duo, no matter who's the partnership. You know what I'm saying? We could talk about Hinata. We could talk about what's the
Akiyama.
I'm in with him too. But
are you talking about glasses?
Yo, it's if you pay attention carefully, Hinata means like I believe it's like sunflower or sunlight, and freaking TSU Kishima means like moonlight, which is like very symbolic because they're really like
that's true. One's shining, the other's kind of dark mood all the time. And he is the castle wall at the same time. He's always blocking and overshadowing everybody. Wow, that's well written. That show is insanely good.
But Hinata is always in the light. You know what I'm saying? He's always shining. He always wants to be front line and center. And people get so emotional when he learns.
Homie's so pissed he got that receive, man.
Everybody, I was like, yes. but it's here or there. Another sport anime, sorry, but Kuroko basketball again. We got Kuroko Kagami versus the Generation of Miracles. If you guys have never seen that anime, highly recommend it too. It's just these two guys, one dude that came back from America to join this basketball team, and then Kuroko, who's known as one of the 6 men or the Phantom of the 6 man team of the greatest basketball middle school ever. And they go at it, facing one by one each of the 5 members till season 3. It's beautiful, highly recommended. Those are a great duo. That the relationship that you see how they grow with each other, like similar to Haikyuu, when they lost that big basketball game, you know what I'm saying, against one of the Generation 5 character, which is the Ace. They had
he was a beast.
He was.
He couldn't miss.
Oh, he went demon mode. If we're talking about like superpower, he went demon mode on all of them. But you notice how they had to separate from each other for them to learn like a new basketball skills and then try to combine it again, similar to what we saw at Haikyuu. It's just like, yo, there's a lot of great best duo, but I also know that OMK and David got lists as well. So like, what you guys have?
I don't have a list. I just want to talk about the villains, but we'll get to that next week. So David, you know.
Yeah, I can fire off.
You're not gonna talk about Jojo and Caesar? Really?
Oh, I was gonna bring that up.
Well, I mean,
is that
that's
a
why
rivalry?
They were a duo.
They were rivals at first. Caesar's like, who are you? Who are you?
Rivals,
like,
yes. I wouldn't call them a duo. Like there wasn't
They
any.
went far together. They trained together. How they are not a duo though?
it was short. It was short.
They trained. They peeped in on Lisa. They were vying for Lisa's attention.
You know, it was short.
You can't forget Caesar.
Like, how can we not talk about them? But all right, if you're saying it's short, but I definitely want to mention them because you know JoJo.
That's like saying every Joestar with every JoJo character. Every time they bump into the other JoJo, they're like, oh, a Joestar. We're GOAT together. You know, you can't. You know, when we're together, it's kind of like, oh. You know, once we're good, we're good. Nobody can beat us. But it's always like, oh no, he has an issue over there. With a Joestar, it's like, oh no, I gotta save him. But when they're both together, like, you know, because the thing with JoJo is like another Joestar is gonna pop up no matter what, right?
Facts.
It's never not just one. So, you know, you're gonna see both at the same time, and you're gonna hope, oh, something's about to go down.
But what about the relationship that are non-JoJo? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of them.
Like Unbreakable Diamond, Yosuke.
What's that short dude's name?
Exactly, with the midget.
Koichi.
I forgot. Yeah, Koichi. I always mess with. Yep, that's a great duo.
That is a fantastic.
How about Koichi and the stalker hair girl?
Oh, F her. No. Ew.
Couple made in heaven.
She's
right
that.
now.
What? David, you can't see that with a straight face.
Mine.
Get out of it. Yeah.
She's nuts. That chick is nuts.
It's like saying Kira in the left hands. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's disgusting. Like, no, I don't want to think about that. But
how about Guy and Kakashi?
That was one I was gonna rapid fire off my list. Yeah.
I definitely agree. Since
that's a rivalry and duo at the same time.
Yeah.
Although Kakashi never sees it as a rivalry because he's just never ever looking at him. It's all in Guy's head, really.
Which is similar to Slam Dunk, but I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I agree. What, David? What else you got on your list?
Well, I know you'll like this Fruits Basket. You got Kyo and Yuki, Prince Yuki. They're always at each other, so super jealous of each other. They kind of drive things along there.
Well, are you going from like are you going like rivalry to bond to like do best duos, or are you doing like
like? I'm pretty much like staying where they're not like, it's not like villain hero, so like they might not be on friendly terms, but it's not like good versus evil. You know, old school Tenchi, you have Ayaka and Ryoko fighting over Tenchi,
the demon or the princess.
Yeah, the pirate bandit or whatever, and then you got the Fufu, you know, too good for you princess of the the Jiraiyan family going after Tenchi. And
fun fact: if you guys search for who is the strongest anime character, it's found in Tenchi Muñoz. It's some like a high being that's stronger than anyone that whoever you think of, even God. There's someone like stronger than God. Just a fun fact. I'll see if I can find information list right in front of you guys to see, but it's crazy.
Concepts in that anime blow my mind every time I hear about it. Every time.
And it's so old too. It's like
Cinderella
story, and it's
almost
crazy.
like 50 something episodes on top of it.
And then different arc storyline to it too.
Yeah,
But
Tenchi's still coming out with new spinoffs. But another one kind of like in the same vein as Tenchi, like kind of like romance fantasy, Inuyasha and Kagome. So they're a good duo there. You got Kagome. I mean, she's keeping Inuyasha's. I don't know how much you remember it, but like every once in a while, like his demon powers would like come to light, and like he'd lose control, and she'd use her priestess powers to kind of keep him in check. And then there's the whole love story element between them. And
I'm hoping you're gonna follow this up with the Rising of Shield Hero.
Ooh,
that's a great follow.
Never even thought of him and her.
Me too.
Oh my god!
I didn't even think about that anime, to be honest.
I didn't either because anime, I just think about him.
That's it.
A one-man show most of the time, but without her, he wouldn't have gotten where he's at. God, what's her name? I keep calling her
Raftalia.
Raftalia, nephew. Yep. That's a great follow-up after Inuyasha and Kagome, but continue and reverse role too, because in Inuyasha is the demon, which is the male, and the hero being the female. In the Rising of the Shield Hero, it's the guy being the human, and then the demon being the psychic. It's kind of crazy, but here.
Sidebar: who wants to do a poll real quick, and then we can see who's right after and post it on the Facebook. Who says their attack more, Windscar or Getsuga Tensho, Ichigo or Inuyasha? Who says their main attack more and accomplishes nothing by doing so?
Please write that down in the group chat. We're gonna post.
Could not be more annoyed by Windscar and Getsuga Tensho.
Well, I mean, at least Inuyasha had Iron Reverse Hole Stealer as well before he got the Tensaiga.
Nah, it's definitely Inuyasha because he yelled it. He only had that one move. You know what I'm saying? He only had that one fastball.
It just gets bigger every time.
Yeah,
that's all.
Or changes color like a Saiyan's hair.
Depending on my mood, Windscar rage.
So my vote is for Inuyasha, but definitely want to put that on a Facebook poll. See the reaction of people. I like that. And
then we'll find out by fact who said it more.
By the time this episode is aired, we're gonna have the result.
Facts. And I don't know how many of you watched Great Teacher Onizuka, but Onizuka and the vice principal. That's a nice little rivalry there. Yeah, the vice principal is like always out to get him, and Onizuka is always busting his chops and
Onizuka destroyed his car multiple times.
Yeah, his Cresta.
What's going on?
My Cresta, my Cresta.
Like, what? It was just like a slice of life or a fantasy. What is this?
No, it's like a high school comedy.
Oh, okay.
Like he was like a great gangster leader, and then
motorcycle yakuza.
And he left that lifestyle to become a teacher, which is a goal of his, and he was able to make it to a school. And from there, the class that he was put in, they're like the worst of the worst, and they're trying to get him out of the class like they did with the previous teacher. Well, he's able to overcome them with like his witness and charm, and he would start to win every single student.
I'm smart for my age.
And the crazy part, it's like a video game, because every time he conquered like a new student to like him, then another worse kid show up, and then another worse. It gets
boss character.
It gets so crazy. Like the baddest of the bad, like they were on the motorcycle, and the bridge was like separated, and he was like, "You sure you want to ride with me?" And she'd be like, "Do your words." And he just rode off his motorcycle off the bridge, no safety net whatsoever. And the girl is like, "Oh shoot, the guy is really trying to.
I'm gonna die.
I'm gonna die."
Crazy,
but it's a great anime.
If you guys haven't watched it, 100% recommend you watch it. It's like 50 episodes, so it's a bit more of a commitment than some people are comfortable. But it's hilarious.
I love that.
I love that.
GTO forever,
such a good show.
GTFO.
I just thought of one, and I can't remember the characters' names, but Doro Hidoro, the two the
Kaiman and
mercenaries.
Nikaido.
Yeah,
right?
the one that can heal everybody, and the other guy with the hammer. They were an incredible.
Yeah.
Noin
Yeah.
and I think it's Noin and something. I thought you were talking about the dinosaur and
No,
because
Main
that's funny because
characters
I
were
was
okay.
thinking about the same people, JL. I was thinking about the
Really?
same people. Yep.
Like, my mind just went to a dark place real quick, and Doro Hidoro came to mind, and I'm really hoping for a new season to come sooner than later.
That's a dark place. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, one of dark places, but those characters were like slowly introduced as who they were, and their impact on the show when they finally showed what they could do. So crazy. Like, dude was fighting with a hammer, couldn't be stopped with it, took a beating, and he just got healed by his partner the whole time with her crazy ass ability. She's jacked at the same time.
Yep, a tank.
A total tank, and just busting all these spellcasters, or what did they call them? Not spellcasters. What were they?
I think they're just magic
Wizards
users.
or
Like
something.
wizards,
users.
yeah, they're
magic
wizards.
users.
Wizards is the term that they use. Yeah, that's a dynamic duo right there too, and hopefully they continue to shine in the new season. I love those two on screen. You kind of get fearful when they show up because you think no one can stop them. Really,
I'm sorry.
That's facts.
Sorry, I go back to JoJo real quick, but here's a dark twist theory right here. What about or thought, whatever you want to call it? What about Dio and Jonathan Joestar? They shared a body. That's a duo, and
but we want to see that for villains, right?
Yeah, it's villain talk.
Well, but like in Star Crusader,
they were a duo when they were young,
but they shared like his head on Jonathan. But
they're not really sharing. Dio technically stole it. That's
that's more rivalry. That's more rivalry.
I just want to hear your thoughts. Like,
that's a rivalry won at that point.
So I don't know if you guys.
What you could say is the Joestars versus Dio as a whole.
Yeah,
that's forever.
Oh,
that's grand scale.
That's inexpandable. Like, someone will die. Like,
I mean, they'll just keep dying, and the ripple effect that he's had will just be on them forever.
I'm not even talking about the Joestar, because for some reason they revived. Like the way how Joseph was revived at the end of Star Crusader. Sorry for whoever's listening. That really blew my mind. That blew my mind. But like whoever joins that Joestar, one of those people died, and it's sad to see that. But it's part of the formula. But I think on OMK, you had something?
I was gonna mention Ryu and Ken. It's more than the video game characters, but they had an anime, you know. So you know what I'm saying? So
that counts.
That's definitely
there was a movie and a 25 episode series.
Right, yeah. So
there you go.
Definitely a duo, Ryu and Ken for sure.
I make sure my thought is like that idea is put into trash after your reaction. Just want to FYI that. But David, who else you got on your list?
All right, well there's one that I think absolutely has to be mentioned is Ash Ketchum and Pikachu. that has to be mentioned as one of the all-time anime duos.
It's like saying Digimon and the Digimon trainers. That's that type of bond. You know what I'm saying? That's forever. You know what I'm saying? Like
forever.
22 years. Battle monsters and stuff like that. Becoming the best
losing together.
Yeah.
And losing together. Yes. Yes.
Him and Gary going at it, or Red and Blue versus Blue if you were playing the Game Boy version. That's a classic. I like it.
And I mean, I have one more. Like I think maybe like Scott and Josh, and I think Juan's seen it too. But maybe you guys have seen it. Ranma 1/2. It's actually the creator of Inuyasha as well. I think one of you guys posted a thing about she was a Hall of Famer, that Yumiko was inducted to like Japan Hall of Fame or whatever, but she was the creator of all these like rom-com animes. But Ranma, and his name was Ryoga. That water was like their Achilles heel. They transform into something. Rama turned into a girl when he got exposed to water, and Ryoga got turned into a little pig. when he got exposed to water.
Oh,
Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Yeah.
And they both had a thing for Akane, who's like the main female character, and they would just sabotage each other with the water. Like if Rama's out, in public or in school, he would dump water on him and have him like turn to a girl all of a sudden in front of everybody. Or
I accidentally fell into a fan fiction hole real quick. I don't want to go back there.
Ah!
That's a dark place. Talk about dark places.
Or like Ryoga would purposely turn himself
No,
into he would purposely turn himself into a pig just because Akane liked the pig, like she thought he was really cute in his pig form. So he turned to his pig form and she'd pick him up and snuggle him, and he's like looking at Rama like, yeah, that's right. I'm gonna do it, buddy. What you gonna do about it? And they were also martial artists, so they had a thing too where they constantly be fighting each other. They had a rivalry that way too. And fun fact, Ryoga has a very poor sense of direction, just like Zoro from One Piece. So you could actually say he's the originator because Rama came out before One Piece. So he was actually Zoro's predecessor, sensei, and being directionally challenged. Yeah,
Competent sounds better. I like that.
I don't know if I'm gonna remember which episode, but you guys remember when Kakashi and Naruto show the finger of death move? So I guess that really originated in Slam Dunk because Hamamichi did that same move to a coach during a practice game, which is so when I saw that I was like, oh, that's where Naruto or Kakashi got that move from, which is
I don't
hilarious.
know why. For some reason, that sounds more painful in a real life setting than a ninja setting.
Oh, during a basketball game, the coach, that same coach, was in the audience, and he looked at the main character, and he just had that flashback when he did the poking, and for some reason his butt cheek got tight, and he stand up.
Hey yo!
And the guy and one of the students was like, "Yo, if you got to go to the bathroom, it's understandable because you're kind of old." And
That's not it. That's not it.
So that was a fun fact right there. I have a few names that we still haven't mentioned before we go, and we're definitely doing an anime review for all of you people listening to this show. So I know Roland and JL are definitely going to dismiss this one, but I got to mention them, Natsu and Gray from Fairy Tail.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Natsu and Happy.
I'm out.
Wow. Happy, yeah, I mean, Happy was a ride or die. Happy was a ride or die, but in my list, I got Gray and Natsu. They were one that we all could agree on. It's I can't switch you guys. Saitama and Genos from One Punch Man.
Okay, yeah.
For
sure. Also, if we think about Psycho 100,
Mob and Regimen. Yeah.
That's another one.
That's a great, hilarious.
Mob's the GOAT, man.
Mob's the GOAT, and always just tag it along.
Yeah.
Surviving.
Another one that probably, oh great. I moved everybody around so much. There it is. Ichigo and Ruka from Bleach.
Yeah.
That's another one we haven't mentioned.
Ooh, can I throw one out?
Light and L from Death
Note.
Oh,
I consider that villain though.
That's more villain.
That's a deep combo right there.
Yeah,
There's a lot of
duo according to my list right here. Okay,
that's for that duo. We got to pick that up in the next episode.
That deserves a big boy discussion for the
yes, absolutely.
Okay, so
a big boy discussion indeed.
Let's put an asterisk on this mark right here. Bing, and we'll continue our conversation.
I just want to say one thing.
Yep.
And I think this will speak milestones for it. I don't think I even have to say the characters' names. Besto Friendo.
That's the best new one, right? That's like the freshest duo we love to see. The freshest duo we love to see.
And Todo from Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah, that is a very popular duo that everybody loves to love right now.
That duo, one guy starts as a complete perv. You don't think anything of him. And then he forces his friendship into Itadori's life. And then they become a dynamic battle combatant duo.
Beautiful
crazy
romance.
relationship. Beautiful
Right,
romance.
beautiful,
Thank you,
yes.
David. A beautiful
You know,
romance
That's
indeed.
literally what it is. Legit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
100%. The whole time watching that scene, you're just like, yes, yes,
Yes.
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 More, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
Do you
yes,
like
yes,
your
yes,
women
yes.
or I don't want to go that route. You know what he says.
Oh,
And the
man.
answer was alike as it was meant to be. As you guys see, there's many, many more type of people we could have mentioned, but the list is so long and time is so short. And there you guys have it. Shinobi Unfolding, part 2. Next week, we're talking about best rivals ever.
Yugi versus Kaiba.
Ever.
Yugi versus
Ever.
Kaiba.
Oh shoot! Oh God! Oh, all right.
Kaiba
Bye.
boy.
Kaiba boy.
Episode over. Peace.
Yeah.
Deuces.